Beam TV, a broader perspective.
We're here live at the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, where the minister is about to flag off the 16 days of activism against sexual and gender-based violence. When we talk about gender-based violence, we say men are also abused. Yes, we know that men also go through violence, but the most affected are the women and also the girl child. So this lofty idea, a lot of international donors, international partners, ministries, parastatals and agencies of government are here to sign solidarity and say gender-based violence, sexual-based violence to stop this year. We have to secure that future that we want for the girl child. We want to secure that future that we want for our women. Women has to be given the voice. Women has to have a right of place in the society. Women has to be protected. Women has to be encouraged. So let's join the minister and other stakeholders in the fight against sexual and domestic violence. My name is Blessing Ambrose, Beam Television.
Equality, development, and peace. Women can't be silent when all around the world people hurt and hungry children cry. We'll sing out loud for justice and development and hold the rights of all the people high.
Every year, from November 25 to December 10, the world observes the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a campaign that aims to raise awareness and mobilize action to end all forms of violence against women and girls. In order to take action with the Unite campaign, the Honorable Minister Women Affairs, Imaan Sulaiman-Ibrahim, flagged off the activities to mark the 2024 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence on Monday, 25th November 2024, at the Ministry Secretariat. The Honorable Minister, in her remarks, expressed that 2024 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence will be a rallying moment to unite effort, amplify voices, demand action, and strengthen resolve to end violence against women and girls in all ramifications in Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, I speak to you today with a deep sense of urgency and hope as we commence the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence in 2024. The fight against gender-based violence is a battle for the soul of our society, which we must all win. Our expectations, therefore, is that this 2024 16 days of activism against gender-based violence will be a rallying moment to unite our efforts, amplify our voices, demand action, and strengthen our resolves to end violence against women and girls in all of its ramifications in Nigeria.
According to reports, women and girls are at high risk of homicide at home. Looking at this alarming percentage of women who are victims, Her Excellency Imaan Sulaiman reiterated that in the next 16 days at the national and state levels, the ministry, in collaboration with its partners and stakeholders, will organize series of events, seminars, sensitization and awareness work to various places and also showcase investment in preventing gender-based violence in Nigeria.
This global campaign, which starts today on the 25th of November, the International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women, to the 10th of December, the Human Rights Day, should not be seen as just another calendar event. It should serve as a stark reminder that violence against women and girls is not inevitable, but it's preventable.
As we march towards the 30th anniversary of Beijing Declaration in 2025, it is important to note that the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and its state counterpart were statutorily established as the national mechanisms for the advancement of women as a fallout of Beijing Conference to address the issues and concerns of women and children and to promote inclusion.
The current reports indicate that 30% of Nigerian women and girls aged between 15 to 49 have experienced physical or sexual violence at some point in their life. This violence occurs not only in homes, but extends to schools, workplaces, and in our communities. Violence does not know any tribe, no creed. It cuts across social and economic boundaries. It affects both young and old. The most vulnerable, our young girls, women in conflict-affected areas, and those living with disabilities face even greater risk. The growing trend is unacceptable and represents a gross violation of human rights and undermines the very fabrics of our society. It prevents women and girls from achieving their full potential and hinders our nation's progress towards inclusive development. The role of our media partners in this campaign is crucial. While using your platforms to amplify the voices of survivors and also highlighting success stories and hold perpetrators accountable, we must avoid victim blaming.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs, Ambassador Gabriel Aduda, in his welcome remarks, emphasized 3 priorities for the year's campaign, which are reinforcing commitment, strengthening collaboration, and empowering survivors.
Today, as we flag off this year's campaign, I would like to emphasize 3 priorities. Reinforcing commitments. The theme reminds us of our responsibility to uphold commitment made at Beijing in subsequent frameworks. Let us work together to ensure that our policies, laws, and actions reflect a zero tolerance on gender-based violence.
To further portray on the theme, which is No Rescues, Unite to End Violence Against Women, the UN Women Country Representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ms. Beatrice Young, gave a brief on 16 days of activism.
The color orange symbolizes hope for a brighter future, free from violence and inequality. Let us orange Nigeria by lighting up our communities, amplifying advocacy, and standing united to end GBV. Again, when women and girls are free from violence and are empowered to lead, Nigeria can realize its potential as a global champion, as a big brother, as a giant, and as a role model on the continent.
Gender-based violence is not just women's issue. It is a societal issue, a human rights issue, and an impediment to nations' development. With one voice, stakeholders and partners sued for the beginning of a stronger and more united effort to end gender-based violence in the country. This was contained in the goodwill message registered by European Union Ambassador, Canadian High Commissioner, National Council for Women's Society, World Bank Country Director, UNFPA, former ministers and others.
We need our men also to join us. It's a battle that we all together must fight, because it's not just our girls and our women that are victims. Even our boys these days are victims.
We are investing heavily in women's economic empowerment, and so we have a $540 million operation through which we hope to support and continue to support the ambition of government of Nigeria to achieve gender equality and address gender-based violence, prevention and response.
My Honorable Minister, we will support you in what you are doing. We have done the best we can, but we'll also give you all the support, because that is what this ministry is all about. This ministry is about promoting women's rights. It's about promoting because we are all stakeholders that we are Nigerians. We have no other country to call our country but Nigeria.
Preventing all forms of violence against children, women, and the vulnerable people themselves. And may God bless you all.
When women and girls thrive, sustainable development is assured.
Beam TV, a broader perspective.